Ali, women mature faster than men.
Sensational.
So this is a statement that I keep hearing on and off multiple times, not necessarily an opinion, but as a fact. Women are more mature than men, within the same age group at least. And that's why it makes more sense that older men would date a younger woman, because now they're on the same mental stage, because women are more mentally mature, right? If we're talking situational, if we're talking about through life experiences, how does this make sense, right? And I'm not trying to say this inside a conversation that's just like, oh, bashing this, that, and the third. I just wanted it to be like a full-fledged conversation, because I feel like a lot of the times when I'm having these conversations with a woman and saying relationships haven't been working, this, that, and the third, and I'm getting the answer of, oh, because men aren't as mature as women within the same age group, this is why we date higher. I don't know about that. And so today I just came to the conclusion, fuck it, like I keep hearing it, let me decide, let me figure out what this actually means, like why is this so? And while going through the research, I did realize there were some valid points, pretty much saying that women would, girls, females overall, at a young age, their parents are a bit more stern on the female as opposed to the male while growing up. They would be told to clean, cook, do the laundry that's inside the house, while they made the example, oh, boys will be boys, while Johnny's out in the back playing football with his boys or some shit, playing in the dirt, while the younger girl has to think about all these extra things. When guests come over, she has to clean and help her mother with it. That's the argument as far as the mentality aspect of being more mentally mature. And sure, that makes a little bit of sense, but that doesn't really apply to everything else. And that did make me think deeper into the question as far as like, what are we defining as maturity itself? Are we just gonna define it by like the things you have to do and categorize that with how you do it when you get older, or by deeper definitions? And so while looking through the definition of maturity, it pretty much comes up with the emotional, and it says the mental development that you have within a given situation. And I'll kind of separate mental, because emotional is kind of like a subcategory of mentality, sure. And if we're gonna say it in that way, it's like, let's say instead of mental, we talk about logically. Being able to reason, rationalize, do what needs to be done, critical thinking, problem solving, things of that sort. I believe that it's a huge difference. It's not the fact that, and well, I'm gonna dive into that a bit later, but it's not the fact that women are more mature than men and that's why relationships are failing nowadays. It's the fact that we generally mature in two different ways. Now sure, let's say an example of little Johnny being a kid and he's just playing around fucking off inside the backyard while his sister Gabby has to clean or whatever. Sure, let's say it that way. That makes more sense to me, because as Johnny grows up and as Gabby grows up, they have two completely different roles that they would have to subside in, that they would have to play as they get older and grow into. So it makes more sense that Gabby will grow up doing the more logical things, while little Johnny boy is gonna fucking do the emotional shit that he wants to do now, because guess what? When he grows up, he cannot do that. That's no longer a factor within your life. As a man, once you truly become a man and like you have a family, kids, you have to be a provider, protector, you're no longer going based off of the things that you want to do. You're not going based off of your feelings. You have no other choice but to become more logical based. You have to be a person who is of rational state of mind. And it's the flip side for women. It makes sense that most women nowadays, sure, they want to say they're gonna complain about it, but in a sense, they're more, no, we can't even say that. We can't say that they're more emotionally mature, but they do act on their emotions a lot more. That we can say. Women are a bit more allowed to work on a day-to-day basis throughout life based off of how they feel, what they want to do, and they'll be completely fine. Like as far as within a younger age, as long as they're still attractive and whatnot, they can do what they want. They can do a lot of things based off of how they're feeling within the moment, and that's okay with women. That they're completely okay with that, because they have that power to not have to always think logically. That still does not answer the question of how they're more mature than us at all. It simply does not answer it by any means. Because now if let's say we're gonna separate logical sense, and that's the point that I wanted to make if I didn't make it clear, but growing up, men grow up to be more logically mature and women grow up to be more emotionally mature. if we're gonna dive into what it means to be overall mentally mature, I would say that you have to have emotionally maturity. Like, I feel like it's kind of hard to be, no, incorrect. You can definitely be very logical and not know how to manage your emotions in the right way. Like, suppressing doesn't necessarily mean it's managed. And I would say a lot of men suppress emotions as opposed to managing it in the correct way, which is why there's a lot of emotionally unavailable men. In certain cases, they manage their emotions well, but in other cases, it's suppressed and they just don't jump into that side of emotional conversations or just open up in that manner. But I feel like I'm definitely rambling, I'm jumping around, but let's just jump into the emotional side of being mature. To be emotionally mature, that means that you have the capability to manage your emotions at the end of the day. That's what it means. I feel like it's very stupid as well as counterintuitive to just say that women within my age group are more mature than me, just regardless, just because when emotionally they don't manage their emotions that well either. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm the best when it comes to it, but even when I have the conversations where the woman would say, oh, we're more mature, we have to date higher, they're emotionally unstable, which can bring up men inside a relationship that would be emotionally unavailable, of course, too. In certain scenarios, we can definitely say that if you're more logical, it's a lot easier for you to manage your emotions a lot more. The less logical you are, the less likely it is that you're able to manage your emotions. It's kind of just, it goes hand in hand with becoming mentally mature overall, right? And so if we're gonna say that, I would say most of the women that I've come in contact with their relationships and their personal life, they don't manage their emotions. They express it. They do a great job, a fucking amazing job in expressing emotions. Sometimes they'll hide it, and sure, for whatever reason they want to do that. At the end of the day, they know how to express their emotions more, and like in a physical attribute as well, like being able to cry in front of you and express how they feel, wanting to show empathy and things of that sort. Like, they definitely express it way better than a majority of men, but managing it is completely different from expressing it. And so for us to say that the maturity relies on expressing your emotions and how you feel, I feel like that's the only basis that we have as to say that they're more mature than men within the same age group. Now, again, my point is, I'm not saying that men are more mature than women or whatever, although yes, but I am gonna say that it's not true the other way around either. It just simply does not make sense. We're imbalanced in two different ways, which is why I'm gonna start promoting this more too, because my brain has been thinking of it. Marriage is very important. Actual relationships is really important because it gives you the balance of in between. Unless you're getting it from like a sibling or, you know, mother, whoever else, as a man, you don't really get the other perspective of what it means to embrace emotions. And on the other side, for a woman, when you're expressing emotions, you should learn how to like manage it in a proper way, which comes with the more logical side of things. And guess who has the more logical side of things? A man. So when you two coincide and, you know, work together within a marriage, within a relationship, and I'm not just trying to say, oh, get married. I'm not even saying it on a religious basis, but women are not more mature than men within the same age group. It just does not make sense, especially with how radical things have become within the past decade plus. It's like, sure, in the past maybe they manage their emotions a lot better, and sure, physically they do mature faster than men. That is true. Physically, that's just a fact. As far as being overall mature, that no. Two different side of things, and once they do collide, I would say it speeds up the ordeal of maturing for both parties. But at the end of the day, to say one group is more mature than the other simply based off of nothing, it's been inside my mind. I just need to talk about it, man. That's all I had to talk about. Moving forward, don't know how we're gonna go about these videos, but I think I'm gonna keep it like this again because it kind of just helps me fucking get the thoughts inside my head and just get it out, as opposed to just rambling about inside my head for the next fucking hour plus. It makes it way more productive for me to do it this way and possibly have a conversation within the comments below. We'll see. I don't know. If I was just rambling and, you know, what I was saying didn't make any sense, fuck off. Don't give a shit. Give me time. I'm gonna work on articulating my words better. That takes time. It takes practice. And you see how I'm looking at you in the eyes right now, but I'm not actually looking to your eyes because I'm looking inside the camera lens. It kind of helps. So we're gonna keep doing it. And the time another place.